Yo, what's up? It's been a minute since I posted. This time, it's actually not going to be about another person's vehicle, but I'm going to go ahead and make a short video, well, hopefully short video of the Cuda. I know those of you that clicked on this are going to make sure to tell me how much you don't like it and how dumb it is, how you should have done it right, how you should have spent this money, blah, 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 blah. Just letting you know now, I don't care. But anyways, don't want to talk too much about that. Let's get to the Cuda. Let's get to what everybody wants to see. Well, I say everybody, but probably about 5 people. But if there's more than 5, I appreciate it. So this is it. When people tell me they love the patina, I mean, it's patina, but we have long passed the patina stage. This is all, this fender could probably be saved. It's pretty pitted here, this whole area. Factory antenna spot. But this bad boy, I mean, there is a reason it is called the KrustyCuda. I mean, and I haven't even opened the hood yet. This fender is heavily pitted from where you see this here all the way up here. I'm sure some body person will tell me, oh, that could easily be saved. Sure, if you want to spend the time and money doing it. These fenders, I mean, if you have the skill, that'd be the way to go, because these fenders are $500 a pop. So if y'all know me, y'all, whoa, chill. If y'all know me, that's not happening anytime soon. So we got typical vinyl top issues. This is not metal tape covering a hole, which then is covered by duct tape. It's actually Gorilla Tape. This is not covering any holes. That's not covering any holes. It is for Aerodynamics. This was the first thing I ever touched a weld. Nope, I take that back. No, it's not. This is the second thing I've ever taken a welder to. It had these holes all around here where you kind of see it's the darker rust. So these were actual holes, and I went in with my hobo freight welder and I plug welded most of the holes right here, where I was just pointing at here. But when I went to that side to do it, the metal was so thin and rusted. I did a little bit here. The metal was so thin and rusted out that it just burnt through the metal and made these big gaping holes. And it was actually in better shape before I touched it than when I touched it. So, nobody to blame but the hobo freight welder. It's all the hobo freight welder's fault. Here we got more Aerodynamics. I need to add some Aerodynamics right here. I don't know what that is. Oh, I think that's actually just old. I haven't taken this off yet. So this side still has some vinyl tops trim, not trim, but fabric behind it. Always umming. Trying to think of what I can show you without having to pop stuff open right now. Let's get to the Let's get to the good part. Oh, isn't that a TikTok? Now, listen very closely when I open this hood. Oh, I didn't do it. Must be stuck. There's usually a good amount of rust that goes. But yeah, here we go. Some more KrustyCuda. People just don't understand when I tell them it is not just patina. But to the part everybody wants to see. Bam. Right in your face. So, what we got here is a $850 salvage motor that I had to put in because the first, it's a 4.8, it's a Gen 3 4.8, it's like a 01, 02. The first 4.8 that I put in this, I got the swap completely done, everything was hooked up, it was technically drivable, and then one night I was out here running it, and it just started rod knocking like a Jehovah Witness on a Saturday morning. And I was like, yep, no amount of 20W50 is going to fix that. So I had to yank that out. And I sold it. I think I sold the long block for $200. And I had only paid, I think, $250 for it to begin with. And then I went to the salvage yard about 20 minutes from me. They give these warranties on engines, and that was really the only reason I went with it. I went and picked this up. It said on their website that it had 120 something thousand original miles. I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, okay, whatever, I'll take that one. And then I ran a Carfax on the VIN number of the Tahoe it came out of, and it had like 200. It was last inspected a year ago, a year and a half ago now. Oh no, actually 2 years ago now, because I've had this for a year, and it was like 210,000 miles. And I was like, whatever, I don't care. As long as it runs and doesn't make any Jehovah Witness noises, we'll be good. And long story short, here we are. I obviously have a truck intake on it, and it fits with no issues. I have no idea why this bracket isn't bolted up the way it's supposed to be. I must have been drunk, but most likely not. I'm probably just an idiot. I have an LS1 intake that a member of my Facebook group sent me for cheap, which I'm really appreciative of, because now that you've seen the rust and stuff, you guys understand why I'm trying to be so cheap with this car, and I'm just cheap in general. So I'm waiting on a fuel rail and injectors that I'm also getting sent to me for cheap from a guy in an LS group that I found. Although that intake doesn't flow as good as the stock truck intake, I'm actually kind of at a point where I'm not worried about it. I'm just actually going for looks, which is a very rare thing for me. I usually don't care about how pretty it is. I just want it to run good. But this I've actually tried to make as pretty as possible. It's all dirty. I drive this every single day. So rain, whatever, I'm driving it. So it hasn't been detailed or nothing. It's all dusty and dirty. This is a ICT billet front accessory setup. This is really the only thing I spent money on other than the engine itself. I didn't want the truck accessories, one, for looks, and two, the alternator would have sat about up here, and it definitely would have interfered somewhere around here, so I wouldn't have been able to do that anyways. I obviously mounted the computer right here because I didn't want to drill a big old hole somewhere in the firewall, and I didn't want to mount it to where I would have to take out seats and stuff just to easily get to it. Obviously, with it being right here, I just unscrew it. I got some mismatched screws holding it in, because why not? And then just pull it off. This is a cheap aluminum radiator from eBay with just a single Summit fan. I obviously painted the radiator, and this Eastwood radiator paint is amazing. I might start painting everything with it, because you can. It comes out of a rattle can, but you can actually clean it off. It's not like what did I paint that was rattle can? I guess the engine bay. It was already black, but I repainted it, and it just doesn't clean off the same, because it's just a rattle can paint. But this Eastwood radiator paint was really good, and it'll actually clean off. This is just a cheap eBay intake that I use on everything. If y'all have seen my other posts, just chopped down, which I'm gonna have to redo this when I put the car intake on, because it's gonna sit lower. So I might have to. It might still fit this way. It might just have to come up, angle up some, but we'll see. All that wiring back there did have more of I just went blank on what it's called. This cover. I don't know why I just went blank on it. I'm gonna, as soon as I stop this video, I'm gonna remember. But it looks like a mess, but all it is that main wiring you see right here, these smaller wires, that's just the extra wires that come with the harness that you don't use. Oh my goodness. This is actually my horn wire that don't stay in. What else? This is my first time wrapping headers, and I absolutely hate doing that. That's a pain. I'm using a stock power steering line. I just had to bend it a couple times to really fit in there. And then there's a fitting that goes into the power steering pump that lets you connect the old power steering line ends to it. That is, oh my goodness, these dogs. That's just an LS1 water pump, and it comes with these spacers. This is from ICT. These spacers are from ICT2. And what I like about these spacers is they come with that hole in it for the coolant crossover, so you don't have to tap the water pump, and you don't have to try and do what you've seen me done in other videos where I run it into the radiator, or I run it into that spliced piece. So that cleans that up a good amount. It's just an Amazon harness. There's nothing. This is a 130 amp alternator from Amazon, which I have on the Camaro. Oh, here's that trans cooler. I mean, like I've told you once, I'll tell you again, that is a great investment. And you can tell it comes with that fan, and there's definitely no room for that fan to go on there anyways. But luckily, there's a big enough opening that I don't need it. What else? Oh, the worst part of this swap was easily the exhaust. It hangs insanely low, which, I mean, that's all the ground clearance I get. My mufflers are right there, and they hang just above the frame rail, but I'm lowered 1.5 inches in the back, so anytime it compresses at a dip or anything, I scrape those like no other. You do have to cut the K-member. Kind of see it down there in the gap, and you have to use an LS2 front sump oil pan. I took for mounts. I don't know why I almost forgot about talking about mounts. I took a set of Gen 3 Hemi motor mounts and I fabbed them up a little bit and to where they would bolt on to the LS and then bolt into the factory mounts on the K-member. So the Gen 3 Hemi and the LS, the mounts on the side of the block are only about, there's only about that much difference between spacing of the 4 bolt holes on the Gen 3 Hemi compared to the LS. So I just wallowed out the holes on those Gen 3 Hemi mounts, and that gave it enough space to put a bolt in and mount it to the LS. Also, this whole build thread is on LS1 Tech. I'll post the link to it down in the description. But this is just giving you the, I guess, finished product view. But I definitely, now that I've done it once and it's in, bolted in, blah, 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 I've enjoyed it, driven it, and the next time I pull it out, there's definitely some things I need to clean up. As far as the K-member goes, I need to cut it just a little bit wider on each side. It's very close to the oil filter on this side right here, which I see if I have enough room to show you. I can't see if I can get to it. You can kind of see it, but not really. If you just look kind of look at the bottom of the oil filter to the left, you can kind of see there's not really any room. But I don't know why the lighting sucks so bad right now. But I had to piece together 3 exhausts that I had up in the attic to make that exhaust system work with these headers. These are knockoff S10 shorty headers. And as you can see, I had to dent it a little bit right there for it to fit on this side. And there's plenty of room down there because these have torsion bar setups, which you see it right there, the torsion bar. For Mopar's great engineering of their suspension, which I'll give them that. That's the only good thing about their suspension setup, is because the torsion bar, if you want to lower or raise the front of the car, you just go tighten or loosen the bolt. But other than that, dumb. Over here is a different story. Had to beat it a little bit there, nothing bad. But when we get to the torsion bar, you can see, or maybe you can't with everything in the way. You can kind of see that it basically sits up against the torsion bar and it loosens the pipe right here. So the torsion bar twists when you hit bumps and whatnot, and it presses up against the pipe and it loosens this pipe all the time. I can't tell you how many times I've left somewhere and so when this pipe comes loose, all this drops down some. So there's been times I've left gas stations that have little humps like this, and I've knocked this whole pipe out from the collector. And it's just beyond annoying. I want to get rid of these torsion bars. I know, take it to an exhaust shop, blah, blah, blah. Personally, I just don't trust leaving this car anywhere. I'm glad I saw that. Hey, these are the transmission lines. Look like they're they're not sitting on the header, but once this video's done, I need to zip tie those up. But yeah, take it to an exhaust shop and get done. I know I'm gonna have to leave it at the exhaust shop, and I don't trust people, even though this pile of junk is as rusty as you see, and you think, why would anybody want to steal that? You'd be surprised. Or maybe not. Maybe I'd be surprised that nobody wants to steal it. What, you trying to say you don't like my car? Okay. It was, and to let all the purists know that might still be watching this, which I'm sure they watched the first 2 minutes and stormed off into their trailer. But this was a factory triple black AC, power steering, power front disc brake, 340 slapstick, dual exhaust. So it had the factory dual exhaust, which I actually have up there, but it's all mangled in the corner, so that's why it's not on here. Dual exhaust, 8 3/4 rear end with 323 gears, which the fact that it was triple black from the factory is very rare for Mopars in general, let alone Cudas. And then for wheels, we have these cheap, I don't think they're cheap anymore. I got these about a year and a half, going on 2 years ago now, but these are Chevy style Unilug rally wheels. There's 265/50 on the front, 275/60 on the back. Only thing I don't like about, I had to rattle can these too, so they don't clean up at all, so I don't even waste my time trying to clean them. I'll hit it with some water here and there, but that's it. Only thing I don't like is these are only 4 1/4 back spacing. So back here, I actually messed with it earlier, but there's not much room here, so it definitely scrapes when I hit bumps that make it go down far enough, or I hit hard turns to where the rear end goes side to side. And I have it, it's a factory front and rear sway bar car too, and it still has those in it. I need to take out the rear sway bar, because when you hit sharp enough turns, that it does what it's supposed to do, and it stays all together and it kind of hops. We are running 50-year-old suspension front and back. I want coilovers so I can get rid of those torsion bars, but money-wise, that's not happening anytime soon. It is 100% stock. Upper control arms, lower control arms. I've replaced, you can't really see it, but there's, I think it was called an idler arm. There's an idler arm down there, right there. I replaced that. I could be wrong. It's probably not the idler arm. I'm not too familiar with Mopar suspension parts. And I replaced lower ball joints and tie rods, and that's it. And shocks. But of course, since I lowered the front end, those shocks are useless, because those are stock height shocks, which, once again, don't know why I didn't think about that ahead of time. Anyways, then we got the cockpit. So my wife knew it was serious when I put carpet in it. Well, I put sound deadener and then carpet, which is crazy for me, because usually I keep these a complete shell. I'll have a steering wheel, some gauges, a shifter, and a seat. And that is typically the extent I go with the interior. My favorite part of the whole build is 100% this B&M ratchet shifter that my wife got me. I just, for some reason, love, oh my goodness, I need to turn on a light or something. Y'all can't see anything. I might have to, it's not letting me turn, hold on. I don't know how to work these things. Look, I can barely build a car. Y'all are killing, y'all just imagine a shifter here, black, with a handle, and it does that shifty thing. Okay. And then I got my little race car switch. Watch it. Can I get a... Can I get a... One more time, please. Can I get a... Alright. That's going to be really weird if y'all didn't actually hear the fuel pump turning on when I did that those 3 times. So we got computer and fuel, fan, giggity go button. The key, well, so I initially put the key, I replaced the ignition switch, I replaced the whole setup for, oh my goodness, you can't see that either. Jesus Louises. This switch right here that goes to the main harness, that goes to the blinkers and whatnot, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to put the key back in there just so I can lock the steering wheel, because it's so easy to steal just with this. I was like, well, at least this will lock the steering wheel so they can't turn it. And locked. It's off. Well, we can still turn it, because when I put it back together, the little mechanism on here that doesn't let you turn it side to side, there's something, it's just not right. So if you want to steal the Cuda, you don't need the key. Best of luck to you. I'm trying to think. I always forget. Well, let me show you my turn signal. So my buddy Alvin sent me these cheap headlights, and I was stressing about not having front turn signals because I don't want to be a douche to other people and not signal. Oh, I turned the wrong one on. Driver's side don't work. I'll tell you why. But look at there. Look at that. That's what I like. Those are like $40 on eBay. Driver's side doesn't work because it ain't got no wires. So I actually need a whole new front headlight harness. And let me take you to the area of the car that I should have shown before I made it look better. Now, I am not knocking any backyard metal replacing people. I'm just saying this was not... Oh, there's tape right here, by the way. You just can't see it. It's like that. This was not put back together the best way. No, you can't really see that. I'm just kind of letting y'all see what I see. Yes, that was house foam that I put there because there's a huge gap all the way down. And I was trying to keep exhaust fumes from going up and back in. But it did not work, and it does not matter. Oh, here's my aerodynamic stuff that just happens to not keep water out of the trunk like it was supposed to. but we're not gonna talk about that. Yeah, it's so I sprayed sound deadener, and this is all just dust because there's the main spot I drive every day is to the gym, and it's on a gravel road. I guess dusty, whatever. But before I painted this, it was not what you wanted to see. We got my Amazon battery tray, we got my red negative cable, and we got my red positive cable. So I just like to keep you guessing, because you never know. You never know. The trunk lid is actually new. I bought that from Summit. The spoiler is new. I got that off of eBay. Surprise, surprise. This hunk of junk Chinese piece of crap, I paid listen to me. I paid $100.00 for this. Absolute junk. Look how much more it's supposed to close. So you put the trunk, this meets this, and they become one. Well, this, when you press it down, well, let me say, okay. This comes all the way down here, presses down. It's supposed to lock even more like that. Look, it's supposed to go like that. Nope, it goes. That's the extent that it locks. So I, being the genius engineer that I am, wallowed out this $100 brand new hunk of junk so that I could push this down so that the trunk would then sit lower when it's latched to that $100 hunk of junk. Okay, we gotta move on. Here's my license plate. Since everybody hides their license plates in pictures and for sale ads. Oh my gosh, no, don't look at my license plate. But then when I leave my driveway or you drive past my house, you can see my license plate. Oh no, what are you gonna do? I got a new fuel tank. We've got new, you can't see nothing. It's like the Dark Knight under here. I was born in the darkness, raised in the darkness. By the time I saw the light, I was but merely a man. Or something like that. Anyways. Oh, wait. Can I show y'all how the fuel filter's mounted? Oh, I gotta show y'all that. How am I gonna... Hold on. Do I want this? No, because I don't want to have a seizure right now. So... grab old trusty. Wait till you guys see this, if I have the room to show you. So we're gonna, where are you? Oh yeah, look at me being ingenuitive. So that's the fuel line. Geez, it's already cracking. Awesome. And rather than routing it under the frame rail, I just cut through the frame rail around in the hole. Now I know what you're gonna say. Oh, I would put a grommet in that so it doesn't cut it. Shut up. I'm not here asking for your opinion. Let me enjoy my shitbox the way I enjoy it. So, fuel filter. Yeah, bam. What is this? What? How did you even bend that metal? I don't even know what that is. I don't even know if that is metal. But that is the rear driver's side floor pan. This is screwed in. Oh, I lost a screw. Oh, we lost a soldier. This is screwed into hopes and dreams, where their dream, where that screw's dream ended. But 3 out of 4 is a win in my book. Oh, so this is the stock. And you can't see it. But, okay, let's get close to this one.
So this is the stock drive shaft that came in the car when it came with the 318 and a 904. I took the slip yoke that was on it off, and I got like an off-road style slip yoke for a turbo 350, 700 R4, 406, blah blah blah. And I put it on there with new U-joints. That slip yoke is 8 inches long. And that was, I mean, you might find it hard to believe, but I couldn't afford to get a new drive shaft made. And the only place in my town that would even touch drive shafts charge $350 an hour to shorten a drive shaft or extend it, whatever. And I was like, oh, that's gonna be a no from me, big dog. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the transmission mount. You can kind of not see it because I can't see where I'm pointing at. Oh, you can kind of see the gold right there. So that's a factory Mopar transmission mount. And what I did was, on one side of it, all I did was weld. Let me see. I'm not gonna have anything to reference. But anyways, I took a stock Mopar transmission mount, and you got the 2 holes in it bolts to the transmission. What did I do? Oh, I cut off a piece of random plate that I have, and on one side I welded it to that side, and I lined it up with the hole on the 4L60, and I put a dash of grease on one side, and I pressed it up on it, and that told me where the hole was. And I just drilled where that grease showed me where the hole was, and then I just mounted the mount, and that was the transmission mount. And this hunk of junk. Close. Oh my goodness. What are we doing now? We're just not gonna. Okay. Before I lose it, we're gonna come back to that whenever this is not recording anymore. But this is it. Not the best video. Oh, my hood pin deals. So, Cuda's came with factory holes for hood pins, but this piece right here either came with the hood pin extension or didn't. I obviously didn't. So I took these plates, which is the same type of plate I used to weld to the transmission mount, and I just measured and I cut. And this plate was actually perfect. It was already had these 2 holes, and it was perfectly aligned with the holes in the hood. And of course, I only had one, so I had to cut and make this one. So those are my hood pin mounts. I had to use the little twisty radiator hoses. I had to use a connector. Oh my goodness, can't even see it. But anyways, I had to use a connector to connect that hose, the lower hose, to the radiator, because the size of the port on the lower radiator is bigger. But actually the hose I used, the lower radiator hose I used on that, would probably, now that I've done that one, most likely will work on that one. So maybe at some point I'll care enough to do that, but probably not. But that is it. That is the LS swapped Cuda. Most likely I'm going to end this video and I'm going to remember about 100 things, and I'm just gonna not tell you, because I'm not gonna make another video just to tell y'all what I forgot, because most of y'all don't care, because there's probably only 2 people left watching this video. There's gonna be
a ton of dislikes. Just to let y'all know, disclaimer, I've had big block Mopar, I've had small block Mopar. Junk. But anyways, that was it. Like I said, you can catch me on Instagram at KrustyCuda. Oh, I'm also trying to think of a business type of name. Not so much a business, but such and such garage. You know, Krusty Garage or Hunk of Junk Garage or Rusted Out Pile of Cuda with the LS, Junkyard LS in it garage. You know what I'm saying. So give me some ideas down there. Trying to make a Facebook page so that I can show people my LS swaps, so I can get people that want me to do their LS swaps. Because I need to make some money, because the Cuda, it needs some things. Now that you've seen it. But Instagram, KrustyCuda, it'll be in the description. I'll put my LS1 Tech thread that really shows you pictures of all the stuff I was trying to tell you all about. But other than that, I mean, go out there and swap some junk, fix some junk, drive some junk. I will see you guys when I give you all an update of the Camaro, just AC suspension level. So I'll see y'all then.